Continuing from the previous tutorial, now that you've installed the Astra theme and have configured it and set up your fonts and colors, we're now ready to install our plugins, our page builder plugin to actually build out the page, and then another plugin to back up your work. So the first thing you want to do is go back to your dashboard and go to the plugins section of the dashboard and click on Add New in the upper left-hand corner, and then do a search for Elementor, L-E-M-E-N-T-O-R. You'll see these three plugins here. The Elementor Page Builder is the main one, but you may want to add these other two add-ons. These are add-ons for the add-on. They add a little bit more capability and functions to Elementor. You might want to wait till you learn Elementor better and follow along with these videos, but might want to later on install those two as well. But for now, click on the install next to Elementor Page Builder and then activate it, and that'll bring you back to the plugins page. Notice that as soon as you do that, you have an Elementor section here in the dashboard, and you have settings and role manager tools, system info, and getting started. If you click on getting started, there's a nice video tutorial, a nice 2-minute getting started video. You might want to watch that and then try the editor yourself by dragging and dropping elements to create a page. When you're done, however, go ahead and delete all the things that you did so you can start off with a new page and follow along with my tutorials and my instructions here. You may also want to, at this point, install another plugin by selecting Plugins, Add New, and the one you want is Duplicator, and that'll allow you to save your work so you can come back and you don't lose anything. So Duplicator WordPress Migration plugin is the one you want. Click on Install Now and then activate it. And notice that now I have these two plugins. Now we're ready to begin building our home page. So you're going to go to Pages, All Pages, and then go to the home page. And now notice that there's a new edit option, Edit with Elementor. Either select that, or if you don't see that, sometimes that won't pop up at first. Click on Edit, and then from here, Edit with Elementor. You don't want to use the WordPress editor anymore. Elementor is far superior. And that'll bring you to the main Elementor interface. This is where you're going to spend most of the time on this assignment, learning the various pieces and parts to this tool. Over on the left are your widgets, starting with basic widgets, such as text and images and buttons and videos. General widgets, which are icon boxes, image boxes, icon lists, and so on. You even have some WordPress widgets. If you open that up, you'll see some things that are connected directly to WordPress. We're mostly going to work with the general and the basic up here. By the way, those add-ons for Elementor will just add more widgets here to this column, to these two columns here. That's why you may want to hold off installing those so that your version of Elementor looks exactly like mine. To start with, I recommend checking out the model website here on my website, gonzamedia.com/travel1. So this is the page you're going to be rebuilding row by row. So to get into the back end, you would just type in at the end of that Travel1 wp-admin. And then for the credentials here, it's going to ask you for credentials. The username is admin and the password is admin, admin, admin. That'll take you into the back end. So just go to Pages, All Pages. For this particular site, there's more than one page, but you're just working on the home page. So click on Edit with Elementor. And here you can inspect everything that I've done to create that page row by row. So here's the first row. Click on the little tab up here, the blue tab, the little 6 dot, and that'll let you edit the section. So you can see how this has been set up. It's set up in rows with a number of columns. This first row has 2 columns, one that's 66%, the other one 33%. So you're going to go back here to your travel site and click on the red plus button. That'll allow you to add a row of a certain number of columns. So we're going to do the 2 column that gives us a 66 by 33 ratio. And then you'll also notice back here that if you click on the Style tab, there's 3 tabs, Layout, Style, and Advanced. But if you click on the Style tab, you can see that I have in the background a normal option for Classic and then an image. So let's go back here and go to Style. Click on the Normal tab, Background Classic, and I need to add an image. So click on Choose Image, or the plus sign, and you'll notice I don't have anything in the media library, just those icons that I uploaded earlier. Now you're ready to upload all the files in the folder that you downloaded of the sample images and stuff. So click on Select Files, browse to the location of your file that you downloaded. It was this media library export that I provided for you from Canvas Course Shell. Unzip that, and that'll give you this folder. Open that folder up, and then click on the first one, and hold the Shift key, click on the last one. That'll select all of them and go ahead and open all of those images, and depending on the speed of your internet connection, this will take anywhere between a few minutes and maybe 15 minutes, because there's quite a number of images in here, and some of them are quite large. So give it some time. I'll go ahead and pause my recording here while that's uploading. Once all those images have downloaded, check to make sure you get them all. There should be a image of the logo on the bottom, and the very first should be this of Rio here. The one we want for our background is this one right here. Notice that the size, there's several of these, but notice the size right here is 1920 by 1080. That's pretty big, and you'll notice that this image goes all the way across the page. If it turns out that isn't the right one, just go delete it and go ahead and try one of the other ones. But let's go ahead and insert the media. And you can see it poking in the back. You'll see more of that as you add more content. And you can even try adding some additional content to see that image. Now you'll notice that there is a dark overlay over this. So the way you see that overlay is, notice that there's the background overlay, and notice there's an image back there, this black image. So let's go back to, what is that? Let's go back to style of our top section right there. There's my image, and then down here there's a background overlay. So let's add a normal background image, and we'll add an image there too. It's this one right here. This one. Notice 1920 by 1080. And as you insert that in there, you'll notice that that makes that darker. Now this would be a great time to save your work, so click on the update button, the green update button down here at the bottom. You won't be able to see much if you preview this, so let's go ahead and keep working. But we will notice that over here in the model, we have a title and some text partway down the page, and notice that there's a 2-column section right here. And then this column here is further divided into 2 columns. So we kind of have like a 3-column layout composed of a master 2-column, and then on the left column, additional 2 columns. So let's set that up, and we're going to do that using an intersection here. So if we click on the widget tool, there's an intersection widget, and we're going to drag that right there. And then notice that I can adjust this column here to make this the right proportion. Notice that the numbers are there, 68% and 21%. And then I have another text, another area here that's blocked out. So in the first column here, we're going to put in a heading right there. Double click on that, and that'll bring you right to the title editor. And we're going to put in the text as I have it in the example, travel and explore the world. And the first thing you'll notice is the text is not the same, the typeface is not the same, the size is not the same. Well, first off, the text color needs to be white. So we're going to check the white box there. And then the typography needs to be set. And if you look at the example, this is going to be 27 points. Now the text says default, but that doesn't look anything like that. So let me show you where you fix that. That's going to be the Astra setting. So let's update our work and then exit out of Elementor by clicking on the upper left-hand icon and then click on Exit the Dashboard. And we need to go back to the WordPress dashboard here for Elementor and do Settings. And the settings we need to do is right here. Checking this box will disable Elementor's default colors and default fonts. So remember in an earlier tutorial, I showed you how to set up the Astra default colors and default fonts. So we're going to save the changes. And now all of those fonts that you have in Elementor will default to Astra. I think that's a little bit easier than having to keep changing it in Elementor. So we're going to go back to the page, edit with Elementor, and notice that that did change, but it's not the same as this one here. So what you want to do is go back into the Astra and check to see what that setting is. So back here in my sample website, we're going to go to Appearance, and go to the typography section, base typography. Notice the 2 we want is Work Sans and a Brill Fat Face. So set those over in your Astra settings. So we'll go back here, set those up in our Appearance, Customize. Typography, base typography. I need to adjust those. So I went ahead and made those changes. Font family, Work Sans, font size 18 point, normal weight 400, headings, Brill, fat face, and notice that that did change the typeface. So go ahead and publish to save your settings, exit out of the Astra dashboard and go back into your page, edit with Elementor, And notice again that typeface has changed to the correct one. Now, one problem is that heading is too tall or high up on the page. Notice that it's way down here. So there's two ways to move that down. You can either use a margin setting or a padding setting, and you can either do the padding in this column here or in the main section. So I'll show you both. Let's go to the main section, and under Advanced is your padding and margin. So you're going to be using these to move things up and down on the page. So obviously these need to come down. So I could set the margin, the top margin, go ahead and turn off the link altogether so that everything isn't changing together. In other words, I want to change the top margin to 200, and I don't want to change the bottom one. So the trouble there is that notice that my picture gets cut off. So I don't want to use margin. I want to use padding. So let's turn off the padding settings, and let's add 200 on the padding. And then notice that I keep my image and the title goes down about where it should be. So you can adjust that to the left or the right or down or up based on this padding settings. That's essentially just add some padding to this section, moving it down. Notice that there is a text block below the title and a button. So let's add those to that left column. So we're going to go back to our widget editor, and we're just going to do a text edit right there. And that adds that text. We want to make that white, obviously. So again, the Styles tab, text color, white. And then lastly, we're going to add a button. So very simple. Go back to the widget editor and just drag a button to the bottom. And notice that the color is different. Color is that blue color. That's the default color. So we're going to click on the button. Notice that for every widget element, there's a content, a style, and an advanced. So in the advanced, you can adjust the margin and padding to move this from the top down or to the right or to the left. And in this case, we're going to change the button color under Style. And there's a text color for the button and also a background color. So you can notice change it any color that you want. Again, I would try to match what's in the example. And text is Book My Tour. So that's going to be under Content. So for the button text here, you're going to go to the text box right there and type Book My Tour. And notice that it updates it for you on the fly right there. There's also an icon. Notice there's an icon right there. And again, what I recommend that you do is click on the example and just notice what icon I put there. So there's the type default, text Book My Tour. Background color is that color right there. So I'm just going to copy it and go back here. Notice I have them open, tab next to tab, so I can just very quickly get the right color and paste it in. There's the color of the button. And then the icon, notice, is going to be icon here. And again, search for it. And notice it's in the wrong spot, so you can do it before or after. I won't go over every single setting, but go ahead and explore all these options so that it looks similar to mine. And then again, don't forget to update frequently so you don't lose your work. Now you'll notice that if this is a little bit off, again, you can adjust these columns to get that spacing. You can also move this over if you notice that there's more space on my example. You can go here, and I really want you to explore this Advanced tab to get these padding just right. And notice that sometimes it won't adjust it, so you can adjust the margin. Practice with setting margins. Notice that this says auto. So there's at some point you'll get stuck, but you can ask me questions or you can email me, or again, check the sample here to get those just lined up as accurately as you can.